The fact I'm a football coach. It's a competitive thing. I despise for people to beat us.
To Elliott, who goes sweeping to the left side. Gets to the 20, loose to the 30, to the 40, down the left side to the 50 goes Elliott. He's going to take it to the house. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. 85 yards. Back is Dorsey to throw. And he throws it in the end zone. It's incomplete. The Buckeyes win the national championship.
It's Everything Buckeye Nation, the voice of the fan, with your hosts, Jake Smith and Corey Boyd.
Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of the Everything Buckeye Nation show here on EBSN Online. I'm your host, Jake Smith. Next to me, Corey Boyd. And we got producer G back running the ship today. Welcome back, G. First show together in a long time. It's been a while. What's going on, Corey? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You know, if anybody was watching yesterday, they're probably like, wait a minute. I know that face. Who is that guy?
Who is this guy?
Didn't he have Brown on yesterday or something?
Ooh.
You know, hey, Buckeye fan, Brown fan. You know, you got to represent. You know, I'm feeling good. Game week. Saturday. Woo. It's time to get pumped, Buckeye Nation.
Hey, man.
They're already in the comments, man.
They're
Warren, how are you doing, Warren? He says so much hype on Bosa. I think Chase leads the team in sacks.
Count it. Chase Young.
I like it.
The Predator.
Alan Russell with the thumbs up. Clyde says, what's going on, fellas? Natasha, hey, Corey and Smitty.
My gal.
Hey, go Bucks.
Go Bucks indeed.
Ronald, go Bucks. We coming. And Laura says, hello.
Hello, Laura. We got a few on the EBSN online page as well. Monte says hello. Daniel Evans says, go Bucks. So we're 4 days from kickoff, Corey. 4 days. So we were thinking, just like we did last week, who's your favorite player to ever wear number 4 for the Buckeyes? There's a long, long list of them, including, you know, a lot of people are going to say Santonio Holmes. I put like 6 or 7 guys down on this list. You have a
you said it.
Santonio,
you said
your
it.
Guy right there.
My guy, Santonio Holmes. I even seen you put Ray Small on here.
I put Ray Small.
I mean,
on that just because I know
I
you
seen
hate
it. I
Ray
looked at
Small.
that. I said, you got to be kidding me. Santonio Holmes is my guy. Who is your number 4? Let us know in the comments, please. Who's your favorite number 4? Let me and Smitty know. Who is yours?
Well, you know, I'd probably have to say Santonio Holmes as well, but I'm a big fan of Curtis Samuel, and I know that's a more recent, you know, a little recency bias there, but I got to say my father and I were in attendance for the double overtime game in 2016 over the Wolverines. Curtis Samuel leaps into the end zone, number 4, forever immortalized in Buckeye lore.
That should be your favorite right there. If you was there in the double overtime game, I couldn't even get mad at you if Holmes was your guy and you moved on to Samuel. If you've seen the winning Michigan touchdown, I couldn't even be mad at
I was
that.
there. And you know what's funny? That whole 4th and 1 was JT short. Did he get it? He got it. But something I've always noticed, had he handed off to Curtis Samuel, he'd still be running 2 years later. He was gone. Then we wouldn't even talked about the spot or whatever. Jim Harbaugh bitterly disappointed. He was this short. But Curtis Samuel, my guy. So let us know in the comments section, like Corey said, who's your favorite number 4 of all time in Buckeye history? You know, throwback Kirk Herbstreit.
And you are psychic. Daniel Young said Herbie.
Danny Young.
Number 4. Shout out to Daniel
Young
baby. Going on to Herbie.
Dan Evans agrees with me. Curtis Samuel says big time.
Big time.
Big time.
Game time.
Making
game
plays.
week.
I can't believe it's game week, man. We made it through the offseason. It's been a long time coming.
Hey, let's not forget to remind everyone, too, if you're watching on Facebook Live, if it's Phantom Sports or EBSN Online, make sure you jump to the Everything Buckeye Nation page and follow us there. And that's where we're watching the comments.
Appreciate that, G. You know, I was so excited about football, I forgot to kind of direct traffic here. You know what I mean?
It happens to the best of us.
That's what G's
It's
here for,
game
man.
week. That's why G is the professional that he is.
Oh, yeah.
All the way back from Cali, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, back in Ohio, game week, Ohio State, making sure the ship runs.
We just won 1,000 comments today, so we got to get everybody in that page.
1,000 comments.
And let us know where you're watching it from, too.
Let us know. IO.
OH, baby, IO.
Tammy says OH. Got to give her an IO.
Tammy, my gal. Got a question right off the bat from our guy Mike Tackett here in the Facebook comment section. Which game is more of a concern? Playing practically an away game at TCU or playing New Look, Nebraska after a bye? You got any initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts is I'm going to go with TCU. And the only reason why I'm going there is because technically, Urban won't be coaching that game.
Yes.
It's a big game for new interim coach Day.
Ryan Day has
that's a big game for him.
Yeah.
That's a big game. TCU will be up for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
I think that will be a tougher game in Jerry World, a.k.a. home game for TCU.
20 minutes from the TCU campus. But it's a neutral site.
But it's a neutral site game.
So
I think that will be a tougher game. Ryan Day's first really big game after two beat downs.
Oregon State,
beat downs, and then they'll go to TCU. Ryan Day's big, tough assignment before, the cavalry comes back.
I do. So it was either TCU or Nebraska after a bye. Now, Nebraska, I don't think will provide too much of a problem this year for the Buckeyes, as the last 2 years. I think it's been 62-3 and 59-0, something absolutely ridiculous by those margins. But I do know that Nebraska now has Scott Frost running the ship there, and they're starting a true freshman quarterback, Adrian Martinez. He's supposed to be the real deal. So it'll be exciting to see Nebraska's offense and what they do under Scott Frost in year one. But I got to be with you. I mean, I'm with you there. TCU is the one I'm a little worried about. I mean, Ryan Day's still coaching. Gary Patterson's a hell of a coach defensively, but I think our players will be ready. I think they're angry.
I will tell you this about TCU. I want to go out on the limb early.
I think
they're in trouble.
7 minutes into the show?
7 minutes in. I'm hyped. I think they're in trouble. They have got a peed off team in Ohio State. They're mad. They're like, okay, everybody's going against us. Everybody outside of Ohio's been going off on Urban Meyer. He is just this evil person. Oh, how could he do this?
How could he?
How could you, Urban? You sorry person of a man. Everybody's saying it. I hear it all over the place, Smitty. All over, and I'm tired of hearing it. And I'm not even playing football. They're playing. So Urban's going to have them coached up, and they're not going to take the foot off that gas pedal when they get up on these teams. So I think they're going to go into that game peed off and ready to kick butt.
Man, you sound like me in high school when I was talking to my mom. Like at school, my mom would never let me cuss at home. Obviously, she whooped me.
Right.
I wasn't allowed to say pissed. Like I wasn't allowed to say pissed off until I graduated high school. You sound like me peed off. So that's pretty funny.
Trying to keep it,
and now you said
try to keep it clean.
It's a family show.
Yeah, trying to keep
family
it clean
show
for the kids. And for the kids.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Now, are you still sticking with your 48-21 prediction you gave us last week?
I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to go backwards.
All right.
I'm a man of my word. I'm going to stick with 48-21, but I wouldn't mind 63-7.
Oh, baby.
But I'm going to stick 48-21.
48-21, I think, is much more realistic.
Much more realistic, but I wouldn't mind the other one because everybody's getting on my nerves with this Urban assault, the worst man in history.
Well, let's get to that a little bit here. Obviously, since the last time we spoke, the Urban Meyer investigation has wrapped up. He was hit with the old 3-game suspension and won't be able to coach until, well, actually after the Oregon State game. September 2nd, he's allowed to be back with the team, but he cannot coach on game days against Rutgers on the 8th or TCU on the 15th. Do you think that makes a big difference, or that he's not there on Saturdays? I mean, I feel like preparation through the week is more important than actually being on the sideline Saturday. But I could be wrong.
Important game situations, it may make a difference, but for the teams he's going to miss, the only game I could see a difference is like we were talking about is TCU. That's the only game I could see, but Oregon State, Rutgers, really? Really? Do you really think missing Urban's going to matter against those two teams? No.
No.
I'm saying it. At TCU, it could make a difference because that's a big game. You know, Haskins' first big game as well as starting quarterback. Yep. No JT Barrett behind the center. No 8-year senior. That's a joke, but no, it's a new quarterback. So we're all going to be in a different stage at that game. So that was the only game I could see it making a difference. But Rutgers and Oregon State, come on, no.
Yeah, I don't really think it'll make a big difference either. But like you just said, he gets the 3 games and everybody is tearing him apart. It's funny. I spoke with one of the members of the investigative team on the 5-man team because he's a customer at my work. Okay. And he said, anytime you got the national media pissed at some reason for it being too not lenient or too lenient, and the local media is pissed off that it was too much, he says, you did a good job because everybody's pissed off.
That's a good point. We have a good comment coming in from Ben West. He says,
West.
Is anything going to come off the new info that 11 Warriors posted today?
Man, so don't get me started on this crap. I got to give a shout out to my boy Jay, just tuned in. Appreciate you watching. But everybody seems they keep putting out this stuff. Well, here's some more documents about the investigation. I don't care, man. It's over with. He's got 3 games. If they really dig and dig and dig and dig and find something else, then great for you. But, Brett McMurphy couldn't do it. So I don't know, man. I'm just tired of it. Let's talk football. We're 4 days away from kickoff. I'm just tired of the investigation, man. I don't know. I don't think anything's going to come of it. And I understand they have, this sort of face to uphold it. It's some different news, different areas to cover the Buckeyes to see, this came out today. Let's report it. But it's over and done with, man. Let's move on.
I'm with you. I'm tired of hearing about it, too. And if I hear Paul Feinbaum one more time on Urban Meyer, I am going to lose what little hair I have left and lose my iPad all at the same time. Because Paul Feinbaum is really getting on my last nerve. He came out saying that he doesn't believe Urban Meyer is going to be coach next year because he's lost all of his credibility, and I'm so ashamed of Urban Meyer. Oh, shut up. Nobody cares about Paul Feinbaum, Mr. SEC.
I tell you what, Paul Feinbaum.
Wrong. I don't care. I'm tired of hearing about it myself. But let us know in the comments, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the new information that came out? Was there a point in posting this new information? Was there a motive behind it? Do you care anymore? How do you feel? It came down. He's gone for 3 games. That's what they decided. How do you guys feel about it? Let us know in the comments. Do you feel the 3-game suspension was warranted? Should anything else come of it with this new information of all the documents they leaked today of text messages and letters and all this stuff that who cares anymore?
I am with you, man. I couldn't say it better myself. I'm tired of it. I'm excited to move on. He got a suspension. Here we go. Let's play some football. Got a good comment here from Jason Daniel in the comment section. Who has the biggest play this Saturday against Oregon State? Now, that's a fun one. We can get real creative with that one. We can talk offensive, defensive. I'm excited to see because this game is going to be an absolute blowout. I mean, it's going to be gross. Ohio State's favored by 38.5. I saw on Odd Shark this morning. 38.5. Don't forget that half point. And so all the backups are going to get plenty of time, especially with the new redshirt rule. That's exciting. And so we're going to get to see a lot of true freshmen come in and make some plays. I've got my money on one of the backup tailbacks, Master Teague the Third.
Master Teague the Third.
One of the best names.
Is your guy.
One of the best names on the staff or on the team. Master Teague the Third, wearing 33 there in the backfield, and he's going to be backing up, obviously, J.K. Dobbins, Mike Weber. In a 3-4 score lead in the second half, those guys aren't taking snaps, especially against Oregon State. So I've got to think you're going to get a lot from the backup tailbacks. Master Teague the Third, Brian Sneed, also a true freshman. These two are true freshmen that I think bust out a big run. I'm really excited to see how they do.
I didn't see Master Teague the Third coming out of your mouth.
Really?
You got me on that one. You went to Master Teague the Third. I'm going to go. Now, this is probably going to be like, really, Corey? Really? You really stretched for that one? I'm going to go Paris Campbell. I think he's going to make a point of, I can catch now. I don't need bubble screens to score. I'm going to go deep, and I'm going to catch the ball.
You think he learned how to catch?
I think he learned how to catch in the offseason. I think he's going to come out and go, look at me. I found a pair of hands to go with my speed. Watch out,
man.
Don't let me down, Campbell. I'm putting my neck out for you right now.
There you go.
I think he found hands to go with that speed, and he'll show it against Oregon State, who is absolutely pathetic. And it's the perfect game to show us your newfound hands, and he is going to go deep twice.
Twice.
Both
down the field shots?
Both down the field shots.
So you're saying he found his hands.
To go
along with his speed.
With his speed. 2 times.
2 times.
There it is. You heard it here first, Buckeye Nation.
I'm excited, man. I am really excited. 4 days from kickoff. A couple more comments here. Kevin, Brian, am I the only one who thinks ESSECPN is bashing Urban and the university? Of course they are. And Brian, best part of Michigan is still underwater. I'm not sure where he's coming in with that, but I don't know, you got something good over there, it looks like.
Joey Lewis says hands were found and not reported. Lee says will Tate get over 100 yards passing or rushing or both? Ooh. Very good question, because they said he is going to play. Now, will it be in a 2-quarterback system, or will it be in a blowout situation? That's what we're waiting to see. It better be in a blowout situation. I don't want to see none of this 2-quarterback crap. Okay?
Why not?
I don't want to see that crap. I'm tired of that. We tried that in 2015, and it didn't work. Now, I know what they're going to say. Well, that was a different situation because Cardell and J.T. Barrett, they were fighting for positions, and I don't care, okay? I don't care. I don't want any 2-quarterback systems. It doesn't work. It doesn't. How do you feel about that, though?
Well, I got to say, I don't know how to follow that up, but I agree with you. I think it's got to be, hop on the Dwayne train. He's going to take us to the promised land. Tate's will, he'll get his action in garbage time, I think. But we will now go live to our Ohio State beat reporter, Taylor Ashbrook, to fill us in on the quarterback battle. I know Ryan Day had a press conference yesterday, so I'm really excited to hear about that. And what's going on the beat, Taylor?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited to make my debut here on the show with Max and Stephen A. here, I guess, over
Which
here.
one am I?
I'll tell you what, I watched the show.
I'm better than
Corey,
Stephen A.
The way you enunciate every single word is quite fantastic. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. Thanks for having me on, by the way, guys. So I actually just got back from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Players were doing interviews for the first time since Big Ten Media Days.
Great.
On July 24th in Chicago. I was there for that, luckily, but we got to hear from players for the first time in over a month, and I thought it was interesting to note, just really quick, that they actually Ohio State had attendance next to each player during interviews, and anytime a reporter even remotely tried to touch on anything Urban Meyer related, they shut it down real quick.
Wow.
They deflected the question. The attendant said, we're not taking questions about that right now. We're only talking football. And some of the questions were football centric, like how have things been running in camp without Urban Meyer? How have has everything been running as usual? And even questions like that, softball questions, were kind of getting deflected. But we did get to talk some football. I talked to guys like Tough Borland and
Tough. Now tell us about Tough Borland's Achilles. How's he?
Yeah.
How's he looking? How's he sound?
We got. I don't know if I should say clarity, because it's really not even that much clarity. Because he said he didn't have any surgery on it, but I'm like, Urban said it was an Achilles injury back in spring, and he was very wishy-washy about it. He said, he just kept saying, "I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go." But I mean, that's the kind of guy Tough Borland is. I mean, when Urban spoke at Big Ten Media Days last month, he said he really lives up to his first name, and I should probably be looking into this camera, by the way. I'm not used to the on-air stuff, but
Jeez, smiling.
I know, rookie move. But yeah, tough. Greg Schiano said yesterday in his press conference that he could be ready to go by Saturday and that he would be ready to go, but I don't expect to see him on the field that much on Saturday. He was listed as 3rd on the depth chart at middle linebacker today. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a few snaps, but I don't really expect to see him back in that serious rotation until about the TCU game, probably.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And, especially with the linebacker position, we seem to have a lot of depth at least at the moment. And with games like you said against Oregon State, Rutgers, we probably aren't going to need, those guys. Like I don't want to rush Tough Borland back and have him have a setback. You know what I'm saying, Corey?
Exactly. Don't rush him.
Don't rush him.
Don't rush him.
Well, that's what a lot of the coaching staff has been saying too, and they want to take their time with it. And Tuff's been having a hard time dealing with that because he is one of those guys that wants to help the team out as much as possible, and he's just one of the nicest guys, by the way, to talk to, and I always love talking with Tuff, and but he really is up to his first name. So he was named Tuff for a reason. But he wants to be out there every single snap. And it's been kind of hurting him a little bit knowing that, he can't go full bore for, when he got injured there during the end of spring practice. But, he's been running with the ones in fall camp, at least from the couple media opportunities we've had, the very limited media opportunities had. And everybody keeps asking us all these questions about, what's going on. It's like, well, as soon as we know, trust me, we'll update you. But it's just been kind of limited. But I expect Tuff to probably be ready by the TCU game, full ready to go. I don't know if he'll necessarily start, but he'll probably get a lot of snaps, in the TCU game. I think that's kind of what Urban was kind of pointing to.
And, I think I'm sorry, Corey. I think that the TCU game is going to be one of those games that Coach Meyer likes to call a sledgehammer game. It's going to be bodies on bodies, tough. No pun intended. It's just going to be a tough, hard-nosed game, and that's something, you want Tough Borland in for. So I understand hopefully taking it easy in the first 2 games. We shouldn't need him, but would be great to see him back in the Scarlet and Gray against TCU. What's up, C?
I see a couple comments here. Joey Lewis says, Ohio State will not suffer from this suspension, and they will be a contender as they are most years. And Bosa, he also says Bosa and the rest of the team will back the coach. This will drive them. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
I don't know that.
Who are we talking here? Joey Lewis. You got to elaborate there for us in the comments section. But, I don't know.
I got no answers over here.
Go Dogs. I don't know. I'm not a Georgia fan, but
is there anyone here local that's mascot is named the Dog? I don't know. I don't keep up with high school football as much as I used to.
But I do agree with the comment when he said that they're going to play for Urban.
Boy, I would love to be a fly on the wall for the first time that Coach addressed the team. The first time he walks in, they said it came out today, I guess, that he was able to address the team the day after they announced the suspension. So last Thursday, and then he'll be gone until Sunday. But I'm, I wouldn't even say it's going out on a limb, but I bet the players just standing ovation, clapping, hooting, hollering for their coach back. They got, like you said, they got his back, and they're going to run through a brick wall for the guy. He's a master motivator too, Urban, yes, he just knows what to say and get you going.
Well, I can kind of touch on that too a little bit. I kind of talked to some of the players tonight about that, and Paris Campbell said, this is an angry football team, like what you guys were saying in the first segment about how, this is going to be an angry football team. Paris said that tonight.
I love to hear that.
These guys are ready to be back with their head coach, who will return this coming Monday after the Oregon State game. He can resume all of his duties, weekly teleconference, press conferences, all that stuff, practices. Obviously, he just won't be able to coach against Rutgers and TCU, which I think Ryan Day will be more than able to handle. But I think everything I've seen on Twitter of all these players liking tweets about, supporting Urban Meyer and stuff like that, they're ready for their coach to be back, and they're looking forward to that on Monday.
That kind of leads me into the next question I wanted to ask you about Coach Ryan Day. Yesterday was his first real press conference as the acting head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And from what I heard and listened to, he sounded really good, really professional. I know you were there. Just, give me your thoughts on his performance and how you think he's filling in for Coach Meyer.
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, Jake, because I have been very impressed with the way Ryan Day has handled everything so far as interim head coach. One of his first things that he said yesterday in the press conference was, it was never my intent to come in here and try to take Urban Meyer's job. He's just steering the ship until Urban gets back here. And I mean, it's important to note that Ryan Day has turned down head coaching positions before. I mean, he turned down a spot to be the Titans assistant, to be their offensive coordinator this past year to join Mike Vrabel's staff. So Ryan Day is a very likable guy, and he's a very good head coach. I mean, Chip Kelly has been texting him for the past few weeks. I mean, he was an assistant under Chip Kelly's Oregon teams. And he said, you're built for this. And that's pretty high praise coming from a guy who's had
a big confidence booster.
A lot of success at the collegiate level. I'm not going to get into his stint in the pros, but I think we all know how that's gone. But I've been very impressed with how he's handled the whole situation, the way he's fielded questions and answered them honestly and wholeheartedly. And it's just very impressed me from because I was at his press conference yesterday and I heard him on the Big Ten teleconference today. And from what I'm expecting of Ryan Day, I think I would not be shocked if the Buckeyes are 3-0 by the time Urban returns to the sidelines on game days.
Okay, we got comments coming in. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Mike Jameson says Tate Martell is going to make jaws drop. Also, Austin Mack. As far as Tate Martell goes, Ryan Day did say that he was going to play, obviously. What did you get your read on how that is actually going to pan out as far as Tate Martell goes? As far as the playing situation, because he said he did catch up, he did improve, but Haskins is going to be the starter, but he will play. What was your take on that as far as Ryan Day said that in his press conference?
Well, I don't know if he's fully 100% caught up to Dwayne Haskins. I mean, it is pretty close. I mean, Tate Martell, I mean, when you have a national Gatorade Player of the Year on your team, you expect him to play. But I mean, when you go to a place like Ohio State where there's just so much depth and talent at every position, I mean, look at that defensive line, how much talent they lost last year and how much they're bringing in, with Tyler Friday and Jonathan Cooper and all those guys that are going to be filling those holes. But people, I mean, they said that Tate Martell's going to play. I wouldn't have anybody take that as he's going to actually start a game this season unless Dwayne Haskins comes out and looks awful, which I'm not expecting at all. I think what you're going to see is Tate Martell back in the spring said that there were going to be special packages for him that the coaching staff told him about. Now, I don't know how many packages he'll get to see now because that was told to him when Joe Burrow was still a member of the team. But now that Tate Martell is the true backup, I don't know how much they want to put, especially with Ohio State's injury history under the Urban Meyer tenure, how much they really want to test him out there. You'll obviously see him in garbage time situations and stuff like that. And I think you could see him at an H-back position because, I mean, he's just an athlete, period. I mean, he is a really good athlete, and I would not be surprised to see him out on the field like he said in those special packages, but I wouldn't expect him to see him under center for many meaningful snaps this season.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it comes back to something Coach Meyer said, throughout his tenure here is if you're one of the best 11, we'll get you on the field. So, like you said, Tate could line up at H-back. They can they can be creative with it, and I hope to see them be creative with it. Unlike when they put Braxton Miller there his senior year, and it was just vanilla as can be. So, one more thing, a commenter mentioned Austin Mack. I wanted to get your take, Taylor, on the depth chart that was released today. A couple surprises there. Austin Mack listed as a solidified starter. We've got 6, 7 wide receivers. I thought that was kind of intriguing that Austin Mack and Paris Campbell were set as solo. Paris Campbell at the H-back, Austin Mack at a wide receiver by himself, and then kind of everybody else will rotate. What did you think about that? And then also, did you have any other surprises when you looked at the depth chart today?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jake. Thank you for asking. Was that a Facebook comment that we had there?
No, just
I was about to credit a fan for like a really good question there. I was about to say that was a great question. That's true. That was a great question. Yeah, there were a couple things that jumped out at me. It did kind of jump out at me a little bit that they were listed as pure starters, like guys like KJ Hill and Benjamin Victor were not listed as co-starters. I wouldn't read too much into it, though. The way that Ryan Day has spoke yesterday, they're going to rotate those guys fairly often. And the thing that just stuck out to me is the fact that Ohio State has not had fewer than 6 co-starters at wide receiver since 2014. Now, that could be the fact that you've got a guy that sticks around in the meeting room long enough to have those kind of conversations now with Brian Hartline being the new wide receivers head coach. He probably puts a little bit more thought into it, especially as a first-year head coach. Well, not head coach, assistant coach, sorry.
Sure.
But I wouldn't read too much into it. I think KJ Hill and Benjamin Victor are going to see their enormously fair share of targets this season. I don't think that – and, I mean, it's just the first game. This is not the depth chart for the whole season. You know, it's early in the season. I mean, we haven't even seen them take the field in a regular season game yet. I think there's going to be some tinkering, especially with that offensive line. And that's one of the things that did stick out to me was that yesterday when Ryan Day ran through – because the offensive line has been something that's been a big question this whole fall that everybody has been wanting to know who's going to be at center, who's going to be everywhere else around whoever is going to be center. When Ryan Day addressed that yesterday, he said that Thayer Munford was going to be the left tackle. But when the depth chart was released today, I also saw Joshua Allaby right there, which kind of stood out to me a little bit. Now, that could just be that Ohio State's going to be tinkering around with that line maybe over the first game or two, just to get some new looks, see who fits at what position best. But I was not surprised at all when Michael Jordan was named the starting center. I mean, it's worked out well for them the last 2 seasons. They moved a guard over to center, and
sure.
I've joked with my friends in the media about this for the past month. If Michael Jordan does not win the Remington Award, we just got to throw this whole season away. That just doesn't count. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what they're going to do on Saturday, how much they'll tinker, how players develop, and I'm very excited to see. Although I know Michael Jordan's probably got to be the tallest center in Ohio State history.
6'7" is awfully tall for
That's
a
a
center.
very tall center.
But good thing to have Dwayne Haskins back there to see over the top. All right, we're going to move on here to a little bit of Buckeye Nation rants, as this paper says in front of me. So we want to hear from you.
Oh, this should be good.
In the comments section, let us know what's on your mind. I know you got a good comment here, Corey, right? I got one over here, too, after you.
Mine actually is not a rant. They want score predictions.
Oh.
They want to know what is your score prediction. So it's not really a rant.
Okay, well, so I'm sure somebody will type up a nice rant. Leave it in the comment section for us. Also, at this time, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. You can find us here every Tuesday, 7:30 to 9, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all live. So check us out there. Give us a like and a share. And let us know where you're watching from. Everything Buckeye Nation show. We've had people from all over, especially in SEC country. We got a lot of Buckeyes down south in enemy territory. So
David says from SoCal.
There you go.
All those people living in those retirement homes down in Florida.
Looking. Shout out to David. Appreciate you.
All those timeshare people.
There you go. So score prediction wise,
you want to go first?
Yeah.
All right.
Go
ahead.
Well. So for the Ohio State, the OSU showdown this Saturday, always fun. I said earlier, I'm anxious to see what ABC does on the little scoreboard, if they how they put, how they abbreviate it. But
right.
I think it's going to be. I mean, this game's over by halftime. I think Ohio State's up somewhere in the vicinity of 35-42 to 3, maybe 7 in the first half. We get all the backups in. They score maybe a couple more times. The Beavers might, but this to me seems like a 63-17 type game.
Man, he's right in my
right in your wheelhouse, huh?
Right in my alley.
Come on, man.
Well, we're not going to have the same score.
You told me I could go first.
Yes. So I'm thinking in the same realm as you. This is going to be a blowout. Oregon State is terrible. I don't mean to be rude, but I am, and I don't care. Oregon State is 1-6 against the spread in 7 games in week 1, but Ohio's they're terrible. Ohio State's going to cover the spread. They're going to cover the spread.
They're gonna.
Ohio State, I'm going to go 56-7.
56.
They will get a cheap touchdown in the fourth quarter when all Ohio State's backups are in, and the touchdown shouldn't even count. That's one of the, them touchdowns that you just hate when you have that shutout and you're like, come on, man. And all the backups are in. And they're not blitzing no more. They're playing that soft coverage. One of those touchdowns, 56-7. Like you said, the game's over at halftime. And the only reason why they play at halftime is because you just have to, because those are the rules.
Those are the rules.
56-7.
One of our
Ohio State.
All right, we got that. Oh, I got that written down. One of our commenters said, "Do we cover 38.5?" I think we both got that by a long shot. One of our loyal commenters, just a absolute great friend of the program. So glad to see him tuning in.
See, that's actually interesting to me. I don't know if they do cover 38.5 right now.
So you said, what was the score you said?
My score was 63-17.
56-7.
56.
So what do you guys think in the comments? Give us your score. I say 56-7. He says 63-17.
17 might be a little too much.
Let's see.
But, I said it, so.
David says 35-7. I see in the comments.
Only 35,
35-7. David says 35-7. Kyle says he's thinking 52-6.
Okay.
52-6. So
all right, Kyle.
He's closer to me. He's closer to me.
That's such an odd score, though.
56-7.
I think they're thinking you're giving them a little too much.
17.
17. It's a little high.
Might be a little too much.
It's a little high. Are you disrespecting Bosa? Are you? Chase
it's just like you said, man. Bosa and Young will be out at this point of the game. We'll have some of the true freshmen on the D line getting their feet wet a little bit.
Doug Lamp said 70-3.
Doug.
70. Where are you? Comment. Let us know where you commenting from, Doug. 70-3. Justin says OSU is going to win by 54.
54. I like these numbers. I like these margins of victory. Frank Carr says he's watching from the heart of fighting Irish country. And
Laura says just a win. She doesn't give a score. Just a win.
Come on, Laura.
I'm going to need a score, Laura. I'm going to need a score. So there you go. A lot of them are more closer to me than you.
I got a few over here.
What you got?
Mike Taggett says 62-10. That's pretty close to mine.
Okay, that's close.
And Jim Walford 45-9. That's pretty close to you.
Over here, John says 43-3.
43-3.
43-3.
How are we getting 43 though?
How do you get 4? How can you get?
We going for 2?
Going for 2, and we got 41 just to do it.
Well, you couldn't go for 3.
Can't go for
as
3.
one famous coach would say.
So 43-3, John. So we got some lopsided scores here. The moral of the story is they're covering the spread. That's the moral of the story. They're covering the spread by OddsShark. So OddsShark obviously knows what they're doing.
38.5.
You got to get that half point.
After we win, 45-7, there are going to be a lot of people pissed off. We didn't go for 2 on one of them.
Yeah.
I think this game, it's just fun to be back in game week. I mean, Oregon State went 1-11 last year. Their one win came over Portland State, who I believe was winless, and they won 35-32, needed a late score to pull that one out. They did list their starting quarterback, though, Jake Luton, who is 6'7", 235. That's a big boy. But I'm not sure he's going to be able to run away from guys like Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Draymond Jones, Robert Landers. BB. You like calling him BB or you like calling him Robert?
Robert.
Bobby?
I call him what's on his birth certificate.
Robert?
Robert.
I don't know, man. I like BB. It's just kind of funny, little BB.
Hey, guys, we got to give shout-outs to everybody who's been tuning in, letting us know where they're watching from.
Yes, and the map is back. G knew it. Let me know where you guys are from. The map is back.
We had a guy say he's watching from Japan, Daniel.
Let's go.
Dalrymple. So we appreciate you watching from Japan.
Shout out to Daniel from Japan. I don't know where that's at over here. Just gonna point in the vicinity, somewhere over where you're at. Let us know on the map where you're at. There's no rain in the vicinity. I'm going to be a meteorologist in my future. I said it. I am going to be. Let us know.
We're all over the country.
Where you are at. We are all over the country. Buckeye Nation. When you make a comment, let us know where you are at. Let me and Smitty know.
Yes, David is watching from Sim Valley, California. Joe Lucas in Eldina, Illinois. Doug Lamp in Bradenton, Florida. Lee Travis right here in our backyard, Dublin, Ohio. Jacob Sharp in Rochester, New York. And then we had Daniel in Japan. That is huge.
Man.
Wow.
Covering the globe there. That's a nice map you got up there, Jim.
Yes.
That's quick thinking.
Yes.
We had a viewer, I don't know, a few weeks ago that was in Barcelona. So that was pretty cool, too.
Yes, it was.
Let's not forget Denise in Toledo and Kyle in Newark.
Thank you, Denise and Kyle. Newark and Toledo. And there was a comment earlier. I forgot his name. So if you remember, you can post a comment again. But he said he believes Dwayne Haskins is going after that Heisman.
Hey, man.
I'm paraphrasing his comment. It wasn't
odds.
exactly what he said, but it was premises of Haskins and Heisman. And I'm with him.
Yeah.
You know how much I believe in Haskins.
Dude.
He's got me excited.
Yeah.
I
can tell. You're giddy over there. You're moving around your seat.
That's a bad
Hopping on the
man.
Dwayne train, man.
Haskins. Y'all just wait. Y'all just wait. Just wait.
Pretty good odds, and and something we've talked about a lot on this show is that it's going to be a quarterback. There's one thing you can count on is the quarterback winning the Heisman Trophy, and then like a Stanford tailback coming in runner-up, whether it's Bryce Love, McCaffrey, anything like that. But Dwayne Haskins, man, basically at the end of the year, if you're the quarterback of a good team who's playing for maybe a playoff berth, maybe a conference title, and you got good stats, you got a good team, you're going to be in the conversation. So, and you got to have one of those Heisman moments too. You know what I mean?
You got to have that moment.
When do you think? Because for example, Troy Smith's Heisman moment kind of came in the middle of the season against Penn State, at least in my opinion, where he rolled out, he was getting pressured, spun back around at the 50 and hit Trubisky in the end zone on a just absolute dime, and that was kind of his Heisman moment for me, at least from what I remember. But you think it comes late in the season? It could come against the Wolverines. It could come up north against Michigan State. So many options, man. I just love football. It's back 4 days, man.
I think, man, if it comes, it's going to come late. It's going to come against Michigan, I think.
Okay.
I think it's too early to beat TCU. Penn State's too early. Michigan State's late. But it has to be Michigan State or Michigan. You can't. It's too early to have it against TCU. There's this Heisman moment. That's too early. It's going to have to be Michigan or maybe Michigan State. That's what I believe.
All right, that's fair.
If you're going to have that Heisman moment.
A few more commenters in here. Lori's from Illyria. Jason says the 614. And then our guy Jim Walford says L.A., but he means Lower Alabama. Buckeye born, Buckeye bred. And when I die, I will be by God Buckeye dead.
Okay.
Jim's got bars.
Okay. we need G's ad-libs, and we got an album.
Gee. We need to get him in the studio.
David says, my youngest daughter is visiting her boyfriend.
Uh-oh.
And she was at the stadium yesterday. And she said, heaven on earth, 3 exclamation points. Boom.
Boom.
Period. That's the whole comment. I read it exactly how it was typed. Boom. Just like that. Boom. Thank you, David. Thank you for that comment.
It really is heaven on earth. And it's so nice to just drive up 315. You see the big shoe, the big block over there, the Ohio State logo on. It just reminds you. It's always there. It's always watching over you.
And Randy says Haskins is no doubt going for the Heisman. He says JK too. He believes one of them gets it this year. Now I got a question for you and Randy.
Oh,
both of you who are watching. Hopefully Randy's still watching. I know you are because you're beside
Hang in there, Randy. Stay with us.
Do you believe Weber will eat into Dobbins' chance of winning the Heisman now that Weber is healthy?
Well, I certainly think that's a possibility because Dobbins isn't going to be only the featured back and get all the carries in an offense like a Jonathan Taylor or a Bryce Love. So I suppose, yes, it would hurt his Heisman chances. But at the same time, at a place like Ohio State, I think quarterback is much more likely the focal point of the offense and more likely to win the Heisman. So I think it would come down to, it would be Dwayne's award, I would think, unless Dobbins somehow ran for, 2,000 plus yards and 25 scores. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think Weber is going to cancel out his chance of winning the Heisman because he's healthy now. And
nice to see a healthy Mike
I think we said
Weber.
Didn't I say this last week or the week before? Competition is key. And when you see somebody that can take your spot, ooh, okay. Oh, okay. He's
Start
good.
bringing it a little bit more.
When he seen Dobbins doing his thing, ooh, they don't need me as bad as I thought they did.
That was one.
Let me get in the gym and start putting in that work.
Something I noticed last year in the opening game against Indiana. Before kickoff, Mike Weber's all smiles. You know he's not playing, all smiles. Then Dobbins comes in and rips off. He had 181 yards, and they showed Mike Weber a little bit later in the game. No smiles. He was off. He wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Just,
So don't get me wrong. Dobbins is a beast, but Weber ain't no slouch.
Yeah.
He's going to eat into those carries. It ain't going to be Dobbins gets all the carries, and then when he gets tired, Weber's comes in. Both of them going to get carries, and that just can't, like you said, that just cancels it out. He's just not the main horse.
Well, if I can kind of chime in
And it's
on
kinda
this,
like, you know what I'm saying, but like JT Barrett. So
well, there's no
I'll put
JT
out.
Barrett, so there's a ton of carries from the quarterback that are not going to be there this year.
Right,
I mean,
so that will
Dwayne's
help.
still going to run the ball a little bit.
That will help.
JT got the ball 15 times a game last year running the ball, so you get an extra 7 or 8 carries for, Dobbins, Weber, maybe like an extra 5 or 6 because they're still going to run the ball with the quarterback just to keep defenses honest, but I don't think it'll be nearly as much, thank goodness.
You know how I feel about that.
I have had
You know how I feel about that. Run the quarterback.
run, 3rd and short, motion the tight end in. See, but it worked every time for JT. Why are you shaking your head? It worked.
Because Haskins don't need to do it.
He won't need to.
That's all I'm saying.
He won't need to do it. We've got the talent around him.
Smitty, relation? Chad Smitty?
Chad Smitty?
Smitty?
Could be.
Your guy?
We go back.
Your
man.
guy? He says Haskins was anointed years ago in the 5th grade. He knew he was the future. I like you, Chad. I like you. Eugene says Haskins is the future. Carry out Barrett's legacy.
Carry it out, huh?
Carry it out. He is going there. Let me stop. Trevor says Notre Dame and the team up north predictions. You think Notre Dame will win?
See, that's a fun one. I think towards the end of the show we'll get an around the Big Ten sort of thing going on. At this moment, I don't know enough about Notre Dame to think, to give really an educated guess on that game. And of course, I don't. I'm up here. I'm not really that educated anyway. So.
And let us know, guys, where you're shouting those comments out from. Let us know.
There's a map.
Boom. Where you at? Over here? Over here?
Barcelona.
Let us know.
Yet again.
Where you at?
See, I'm covering up the United States, though. That's no fun.
No fun at all.
Nope. So, Notre Dame, Michigan, that'll be a fun game to watch and see Shea Patterson for the first time and see what the Maize and Blue can do. And I'd just love to see I'll be rooting for Notre Dame. I mean,
Of
I
course,
really just.
Of course.
It would be,
Who's not rooting for Notre Dame?
I just want to see that post-game press conference from Harbaugh and this and that. And, oh, man, he is
my guy.
He doesn't seem like himself this year. Have you noticed that? You heard any of his interviews?
He knows
he's
he
very
knows
docile.
he know he has to win this year. If you lose again, really, you just can't be Urban. You just can't do it.
I guess not. I mean,
why do we have you? What are you here for? That's what they're going to be thinking.
Our guy, Shemi Schembechler's commenting in. I think it's him. He's posting from the rivalry page, so he's
trying to be
behind
slick.
maybe. But
Trying to be slick.
He said the underperforming Notre Dame offense will be their downfall, and go Big Ten. See, I don't know about that. I'm not Mr. Go Big Ten Conference Pride.
Me neither. No, not when it comes to Michigan. No. I mean, did I say that? The team up north.
There you go.
And Mr. Smitty, Chad says, Florida. I'm going to butcher that city.
Oh,
Sarasota, Florida.
There you go.
Sarasota.
That's how you
Florida.
say it.
I butchered it. Sorry, Chad.
Sarasota.
But it says Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, well, he misspelled it.
And David said, how many more years does Harbaugh have? LOL.
That's a good question. Shemi says we need to grow up for not rooting for the But how many more years does Harbaugh have? Shemi's got to love this that we're talking about his team on our show.
Did you guys see the comments from Skip Bayless about Jim Harbaugh?
No, I didn't.
Saying that he is better than Nick Saban and that Michigan will win the national championship this season.
Who said that?
Skip Bayless on Undisputed.
There it goes.
Skip.
Well, you guys didn't see it, but you
No.
guys should
No.
check that out when you get off here.
Skip Bayless is terrible.
What?
Yeah. Like,
How is it? Better coach.
like, where do you get that from?
Better coach than Nick Saban.
Better coach, and I don't even like Nick Saban, but a better coach than Nick Saban. Like, what gives you, what data do you have that tells you
Analytics.
Harbaugh is better than Nick Saban? and that they're going to win the championship this year, and they can't even get to the Big Ten title?
You know, he's got to finish better than third or fourth in his own division before we even. I mean, he's got to
skip, as Eugene says.
Skip. We got a good comment here from Jason Daniel. It says, "Who do you predict in the top 5 mid-season?" We're not talking the end of the season, but mid-season.
Mid-season,
so, starting off, before rivalry weeks and all that jazz. I think Alabama, Clemson, probably Georgia. Alabama and Georgia don't meet. If they meet again, it'll be in the SEC title game. So they don't meet in the regular season. So you got Alabama, Georgia. It'll probably be the top 5 we got now.
It's not going to budge.
It's not.
It's not
I don't think
budge.
it'll budge.
There's not enough tough games.
Alabama
to begin with.
Clemson, Georgia, Wisconsin. They'll still be there, and provided Ohio State beats Penn State on the road, Week 5.
Oh, we will. We will.
September 29th. You calling that? Take it to the
bank.
Call
it already. Take it to the bank, cash it in, get out your ATM card. They're winning.
September 29th. That's Week 5. Glad to have Urban back on the sidelines for that one. That's for sure. So I think provided Ohio State wins that game, it's going to be the same top 5. It's going to be Alabama number 1, deservedly so. Clemson, Georgia, Wisconsin, as T-Pain would say, and Ohio State. What are you laughing at over there?
Eugene says, Skip need to leave them backwoods alone and that cognac. Laura says, whatever he's smoking, I want some. Chris says, Skip is crazy. And Chad Smitty says, what do you guys feel is the Achilles heel for Ohio State this year? What side of the ball?
So we talking like offense?
Offense or defense? What's their Achilles heel?
Wow,
that's rough.
The last 3 years, I'd say offense. But now that we got Dwayne Haskins under center, or 5 yards behind in a shotgun formation, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I love our defensive line, probably the strongest unit on the team. And our linebackers, we got to replace a lot of linebackers, have some young guys come in, but there's a lot of depth there. And then the secondary might be kind of weak. I mean, I don't know. I know we talked about this last week. Damon Arnett is
46. That's all I got to say.
He is number 46. That is truly all you got to say. Went from number 3 to number 46. I don't think that was his call. So I think he's a little bit in the doghouse. I do love Jeff Okudah, but I don't know, man. I guess I'll say the defense because I'm excited about the offense for the first time in a long time.
I think it's the cornerbacks, to be specific.
Okay.
The D-line's nasty. Yeah, the linebackers need to get better, but Denzel Ward is gone, which was our best DB. And last year they had their moments. Yeah. Especially early.
Yeah.
Indiana said fate left, fate right until they stopped.
Simi Cobbs goes up and get it.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. And it's the DBs. You can have the greatest defensive line in the nation. But if your DBs
we might.
Or weak or have chance to be weak, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Because the line's not going to get there every time. It's just not. Or they'll throw it really quick.
They might. That's the worst, man.
Quick slant, quick screen, get it out.
We got a great comment here from our guy Kyle Wandell. Says, which players are y'all most excited to see play this Saturday?
You know mine. You already know. Haskins. I'm so excited. And I don't want to sound like a JT Barrett hater.
Uh-oh.
But if it sounds like it, oh well.
Drink the tea.
I don't care. I'm just ready to see that ball fly in the air once again. To know when you drop back, you get excited again.
Here we go.
I mean, excited for the ball to launch. Like, what? It could be a throw. Like, I used to just get nervous when the ball flew out now. Like, oh, God, what's going to happen?
Like, a duck flying.
I'm excited, and JT I get it, but I'm just excited for Haskins, man. I'm just telling you. He came in sitting cold off the bench in the biggest game of the year like it was nothing. Are you kidding me?
He's cold-blooded.
He
came in cold, but he's cold-blooded.
I'm so excited. He ain't scared. He'll throw it into between two people. I don't care. I get my guys the ball and let them make plays.
Give your guys a chance to make the play, man.
I'm excited for Haskins, man. That's my guy. That's who I'm excited for.
I like that. And, it might be the easy answer. In fact, I think that is
It's
the
a
easy
very easy answer, but I've been talking about him, and we didn't do a show together. I was talking about him as soon as he threw that ball to Mac last year. I said, that is my guy. And when he didn't play in the Big Ten title game, I was upset.
I was,
and
too.
People was roasting me. How could you be upset? J.C. Barrett is our leader. How could you do that? You are so disrespectful. I'm like, dude, he tore up his knee, and Haskins is capable of playing.
And if Haskins played and we won by 3 touchdowns, we might have snuck into the playoffs.
And everybody said, you were just so how could you disrespect J.T. Barrett? You're not a real fan. I said, I guess I'm not then, because I just think Haskins is a beast.
He is a beast. And that is the easy answer. I won't one-up you, but I'll give you another easy answer on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Can you guess?
Bosa.
No, Chase Young.
Chase Young. You got me.
Yeah, just a little bit. But
Ding.
The Predator will be released Saturday at approximately 12:07 p.m. And I just can't wait to see. I mean, Chase Young is built like a #1 NFL draft pick. NFL scouts were at practice last year, and they were asking him, is this guy, he's eligible this year, right? And they're like, no, he's a true freshman. They're saying, what? Are you kidding me? Kyle gives his BB or Robert Landers, Jordan Fuller, and Austin Mack. I love Austin Mack. Haskins to Mack, man. 7-Eleven, always open.
7-Eleven.
They're roommates.
Yes.
That's quite the connection, man.
Quite the connection.
That can't be overstated, I think. That's an underrated part of their relationship. A roommate connection like that is big time. So that's what I think.
Michael Egan has a good comment here on Everything Buckeye Nation. Let us know where you're making that comment from. We do appreciate everybody who's making a comment. If we don't get to your comment, we do apologize, but we appreciate every comment that has came in today, and you have took time out of your busy schedule to watch Smitty,
Tuesday night, man.
Smitty and me. We appreciate that. Michael Egan says, I love Haskins' arm, but he needs to be able to run at times too. Urban has always had a QB who can run.
You want to take this one?
I'm going to take this. Now, he can run, just not like Barrett, not like Braxton, but he can if he has to. But his arm talent is so great, I just don't want to see 3rd and 7 QB draw. That's all I'm saying. If he has to, he can do it when it breaks down, kind of like Cardale. Cardale wasn't doing those, he did it sometimes. He did it sometimes, but he did it when the play broke down. Nobody's seen it coming. But it was 3rd and 7. He threw the ball for the first down. That's what I want to see out of Haskins. But he can run when he has to. I just don't want it to be a staple in our playbook. 3rd and 7. Let me go to the highlighted play that says QB draw. That's what I don't want to see when we have this arm talent and we have 2 phenomenal backs that can run it themselves.
Ask Corso, QB draw. You think that's what he'd come up with?
Right.
And if you don't believe, Corey, that he can run when he needs to, go back and watch the film against the game of the Wolverines. After he made that 3rd and 13 throw to Austin Mack, we were just outside the red zone at about 23, 24-yard line. And on 2nd and 9, Haskins drops back, should have been sacked twice, gets out of it, and races down to the 1-yard line. Knocked the pylon down. He was out before, but, there's a prime example right there of what the quarterback can do if he needs to run. So that's what I've got to say about Dwayne Haskins.
Hey, that's my guy. And I like the question. I do like the question, Michael Egan. I love the question. I just think that we don't need that guy that has to do read option about 40% of the time. We have 2 great running backs, receivers galore, arm talent. Yes, we got it. And I see a comment that came in from Tyler. I think
what up, Ty?
He is a SEC fan or something here. I need to know, Tyler. Let me know. You can call 1-866
216
217 1966. See, you didn't came in
on.
here, Tyler, and messing up Smitty with the number. He says OSU won't make the Natty. UGA, Bama, and Clemson are all on another level.
On another level? Who said that?
This is
Tyler.
Tyler's
Come on, Tyler.
Stanfield.
Tyler, what's up, producer Jake Safranco?
Yeah, just make sure that you guys keep calling in. If the phone lines are tied up, we'll get through to you here eventually. So if you want to get your voice heard, give us a call and keep at it.
We appreciate your engagement. This is the Everything Buckeye Nation show, after all, so let's hear from you. Let us know where you're watching from in the comment section as well.
Do you want to take that?
What's that?
You want to take that, Tyler?
Okay, so what? Alabama, Clemson, Georgia are all on the same page and just on another level than Ohio State now. I don't agree with that at all. I think Ohio State has been recruiting at that level for the last 5 years under Urban Meyer. They've built the depth. We've got Mick Marotti as the strength coach, getting everybody ready to go. And we've got one of the best coaching staffs in the nation. I mean, 2 former head coaches. Ryan Day, it looks like a stud. I would love for Ryan Day to one day replace Coach Meyer as the head coach. Whenever Urban's ready to go, bring Ryan Day back in. But to say that Ohio State's not on the level of Alabama and Georgia and Clemson, I certainly wouldn't go that far.
We kind of thought about the same thing for Tom Herman, didn't we?
Yeah,
well, we did.
So just say.
We were talking about Tom Herman, how we all wanted him to come back and be the Ohio State head coach after this whole Urban Meyer ordeal that has played over the past month. I don't know how many Buckeye fans would indeed want that man, because I actually just got a report here from the Dispatch. My friend Bill Rabinowitz down there at the Dispatch. It was confirmed just a couple hours ago that Tom Herman was indeed the other coach that was with Zach Smith at that strip club back in Florida. So that was certainly not a good development there for the camp that wanted Tom Herman to come back. And also, it'd be nice to have Ryan Day to come back and coach Ohio State, but I'm telling you, he's going to get another head coaching job at a really good school before Urban's done, I would imagine. I mean, Ryan Day, if he does really good over these next 3 games, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a head coaching job next year that he takes. And when he's getting praise from guys like Chip Kelly saying you're built for this. And he was chosen to be the interim head coach over guys like Greg Schiano and Kevin Wilson, who have been head coaches, and one of them at the NFL level. But Ryan Day was chosen. So, I don't see that being in the future for Ohio State. I mean, it'd be nice. I love Ryan Day personally. I think he's a great guy, but I think Urban's going to be coaching a little bit longer than Ryan Day is going to be sticking around.
Well, maybe Day will, take the new job after next season, and then 5 years down the road, after 5 Ohio State national titles, Urban calls it a quit.
I don't know if we'll get that many, but
you never know. That's why they play the games.
That's true.
So, we'll see. Let's we'll wrap up our, final 30 minutes here with a little bit of Around the Big Ten. We'll talk Taylor's mailbag. She posted some questions on social media recently today, so we'll get a little bit to that. We got some comments here. Corey, let us know what's going on.
I don't want to leave Bill Cates out there hanging. He said Springfield, OH.
I-O, Bill.
Got to get an I-O in there. Smitty says, he's going all the way to the game already. He said, what's the predictions for the game? The game.
Chad.
Already. Whew. Putting the feet to the fire.
I tell you what, man. See, that's just, I wasn't prepared for that question.
Wow.
Come on, Chad.
I don't know.
But I think
that's rough.
Whatever the result was for 13 of the last 14, I think will be
Ohio
the
State's
result
going to win. You put my feet to the fire. Let me ask this question. Can I go back and change my score after watching multiple games of both teams playing?
I would think that's only fair.
Okay.
I want that
okay.
option.
Well, then I will answer the question because I am here for the fans. We are the voice of the fans.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to go. It's a rivalry game, so I'm not going to go anything crazy.
Okay.
But we are at home.
True.
He asked for the game. He wants to know predictions for the game. Yeah, you missed that part. You missed that part. So I'm going to do it already for the fans. But I get to change my prediction after watching.
It's fair.
Ohio State 28. The team up north 17.
28-17. I think that's reasonable. I'd put a little more.
Now I've seen nobody play, so I can change it.
Oh yeah, we'll come back.
It reminds me of that old Saturday Night Live skit with the Chicago Bears super fans. I see Dick 328, Colts 0.
At this point, we might as well say that because we can change the score later, right? So I do think I'll say Buckeyes beat the Wolverines 38-21.
Okay.
38-21.
I like it.
With a big game from Dwayne Haskins solidifying his Heisman Trophy.
That was for you, Chad. That was for you.
Appreciate you,
You're
Chad
here for
Smitty.
the fans.
So you
Thanks for
keep
commenting.
calling him Smitty, and then you call me Smitty, and I'm lost
Well,
over
it's
here. I'm
Smitty.
lost anyway. So
He's Smitty. I can't not call him Smitty.
we are all Smitty. We all derive back to one original Smitty.
And Laura says a big win. Happy birthday present. Everybody just wants a win against the game, against the team up north.
Ooh, that's all I want. All I want for Christmas is a spot in the playoffs, a Big Ten championship, and a win over that team up north.
Yes.
Shemmy Schembeckler tunes in now with his actual comment and says, his actual name, 38-21. I will remember that. Hashtag go blue. Shemmy, we already said we can change the scores after we watch teams play. But
What kind of bold prediction is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, guys. Let's write these up behind you.
We can.
We've got I've already got Corey's written down for the TCU game.
Yeah,
48-21.
Yep.
Whew.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
48 to 21.
That's right.
48-21.
48 to 21.
That's right.
I mean, that is a bold prediction.
why it's called-
I guess it is bold
That's why it's
predictions.
called bold.
but
It's not called prediction.
I
That's
just
bold
don't
prediction.
know if that's
gonna
feasible.
happen. It's gonna happen.
TCU. They lost that Ross Blacklock there on their defensive line. So
That
that
one
was
hurts.
a big blow
That's
for
a big
TCU,
loss.
and that really
Big
helps
blow.
out Ohio State, especially with the absence of Urban Meyer in that game. But guys, I don't know. I mean, that's still. We call it a neutral site game, but come on, I could spit to Fort Worth from there. So
Indeed.
I have family that lives in Fort Worth, and it's 15 minutes to their house from Arlington. So I'm not sure that's gonna happen, but who knows? I'd love it if Corey's prediction was right. But
48-21 could be. That would make for a fun story to write. Absolutely. So I don't know. I mean, I think 48-21 is realistic. I think that's realistic. So
Oh, my man. Hey, man. My man Kyle Barr says he'll be at the game in TCU in person.
Oh,
And
okay.
He says, I hope they do hang 48 points on TCU.
Well, you know what? I think it's definitely possible. The Buckeyes are quite comfortable in AT&T Stadium. They played, I believe the Cotton Bowl was there last year, and then there was a big game a few years back.
One game. What was that game?
2014, 15. They played some. I know they played the Heisman Trophy winner. So, I don't know. That was probably a tough game.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll come up with it.
we'll come
Somebody
up
in the
with it.
comments will let us know what it was.
Yeah, we'll come with something. I don't know what game that was. I think they won too.
We got some EBSN employees talking in the comment section.
Man.
Producer G said, Shemmy, did you see what Skip Bayless said regarding the Jim Harbaugh's better than Nick Saban and they'll win the national title? And Shemmy said, I did. Skip is out of his mind. Typical media type. Now, it's all fun and games to rip on the media, but, we're kind of the media too a little bit. I mean,
I'm crazy sometimes. I admit it. I ain't that crazy though.
Well.
To say that Jim Harbaugh's better than Nick Saban, please.
that's just, I feel like it's
that's
classic classic Skip Bayless
Classic-
there.
that's classic
He's just trying to
stupidity.
say stuff. Because you know what? Every time he says something dumb, it blows up and people are like, wow, you're an idiot. And like everybody is talking about Skip Bayless and he's just counting that all the way to the bank.
And our guy,
I couldn't be that guy.
Our guy Kyle Oregon. Our guy Kyle Barr. Sorry, Kyle. I seen you put the Oregon stat in there. He said Oregon's 9-0 all time. 9-0 all time against Oregon.
Really? That's a fun stat right there.
Fun stat.
Fun fact. I don't think we'll get Oregon this year. Well, we do have some non-conference action against Oregon coming up the next few years, so that'll be fun as well. Shemmy says, yeah, he's a hack. It's all for the attention. That's exactly right. I couldn't be that guy. I couldn't be.
Nah.
Yeah, I gotta almost give credit to Skip Bayless because all he does is spout BS that I'm sure he doesn't even believe half the time, but he knows that will get clicks and it'll drive numbers and it'll drive his paycheck up. I don't know, man. I couldn't do that because he's pretty much
If I say it,
universally
I believe it.
disliked.
If I say it, I'll believe it.
Yeah,
That's it.
until your producers tell you otherwise.
Yeah, and I still say it. You're just gonna get rid of me. If I say it, I believe it. 48-21
Over TCU.
over TCU.
And so let's get back to our Oregon State predictions here.
Oregon State.
I said 63-17.
Yes.
You said 56-7.
Yes.
I think yours might be a little more
A
realistic.
little more realistic.
But you never know. Maybe
never know.
Maybe they bust maybe there's a dumb scoop and score. Last year last year in the opening game against Bowling Green, that might have been 2 years ago, JT Barrett threw a pick 6 on the opening drive, and they were up 7-0.
And you know
and
what?
then we scored 70.
You know what else
unanswered.
always is a bugaboo of Ohio State, which
Bugaboo?
shouldn't be a bugaboo?
Bugaboo?
Special teams.
Which is so interesting because Urban Meyer,
That's Urban's
his
baby.
expertise.
Kick
It is his
returns.
baby.
I mean, what are y'all doing? You gotta stop that stuff. Remember Penn State?
Oh yeah,
When
Saquon
Saquon Barkley just woo, right down the sideline like it was nothing. I was sitting here like, so touchdowns like that worry me. That's what worries me. Special teams, like I don't know, make them earn the touchdown. Drive down the field if they're going to score my 7 points that I predicted. I don't want no fluky kickoff return.
What's up,
Hey,
G?
I want to jump in and thank everybody who's tuned in tonight. We are having some technical difficulties right now, so if we can go ahead and wrap this thing up.
One bold prediction.
All right.
About this game.
Surprise! We're getting off early
So
tonight.
we apologize if the broadcast interrupts in advance.
All right. So if I just shut off, I apologize when I'm talking.
See,
sorry.
you give every word like slow. Though. You're going to clog off all this time. I'm not going to get to give my bold prediction. Well, no, you go ahead. You made me go first on the score prediction, so I'm going to let you go
What bold
first.
prediction want we get for this game?
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, boy.
First half, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and my 2 deep pass prediction will happen in the first quarter.
First
to Paris
quarter. See, I'm going to write
Campbell.
these all down.
That's what you call bold, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, when you say down the
Bold.
field, what are we talking about?
Streaks, not bubble screens like last year. Streaks.
So I mean, if they're at the 15,
They're like
there's
at,
a little
they're like
post.
at their side of the field, like
Okay.
20, 30, you know.
2 deep touchdowns
those.
over 50 yards?
Over 50 yards.
Wow. So he
Yeah.
found some hands, huh?
Yeah, bold.
That's
That's bold.
That is bold. I'm going to say that Ohio State has 3 rushers go over 100 yards in the game.
3 rushers.
3 rushers.
Who are the 3?
J.K. Dobbins,
J.K. Dobbins,
Mike Weber.
Mike Weber, and
You know my guy.
Master T.
But I'm going to go, here's bold, Brian Snead. He was the
Brian Snead.
first tailback to lose his black stripe, number 6.
Okay.
And I really like the kid because his entire recruitment was so quiet. He was like the 4th or 5th best tailback in the nation. He took his visit to Ohio State. He committed, shut everything down, didn't really make a bunch of headlines, and he's come in and shown the staff a lot of good stuff. So while I love Master Teague, he's my favorite for the future of the backfield. Brian Snead's going to get a lot of action.
I like that bold prediction.
I gotta
also
write
got
these
a
down.
couple comments in case we get shut off. I wanted to get them out. Jeff Ham says, "Go Bucks, baby! 3 days." Michael Egan says, "Good show, guys. Go Bucks." And Kyle says, "Excellent show. This is my first time tuning into you guys, but I've enjoyed it." See, Smith?
Oh, nice.
I love the fans. Man.
Is
I
that
love
Kyle
our
that
fans.
said the 9-0 against Michigan or against Oregon?
That was Kyle Barr,
Kyle.
the statistician.
Yes. Kyle
he gave
Stats.
us, he gave us the Oregon.
Eddie
Where's
Stats
Eddie
wasn't
Stats
here.
at? Eddie
No
Stats
Eddie
wasn't here
Stats
today.
tonight,
So
man.
Kyle took over.
Kyle's filling in. We
Kyle's
appreciate
filling
you,
in
Kyle.
for Eddie. 9-0.
Now, while we would wrap up the show, we're all alone in here. The producer left us, so he
Yeah.
can't even shut the mics on.
So I guess we're still going
I
to
guess
talk
we're
to you
still
guys.
on.
For the people that's still watching, we're still rolling. If we cut off, then we cut off, but we're going to still keep rumbling.
Hey,
what you got?
why not? Well,
What
let's
you got?
see. Okay, we got. I put this down at the end. Game and season bold predictions.
Okay.
So we already covered the game. I say Ohio State beats Oregon State 63-17. Corey says 56-7. His bold prediction: Paris Campbell gets 2 deep touchdowns down the field. None of these little mesh routes, none of these little bubble screens. Down the field, he found his hands. Dwayne puts it right on the money. 2 touchdowns over 50 yards. How many yards do you think Campbell ends up with? You think he just has like those 2 catches and then he's done? Because I can see that happening.
Yeah, if he gets those, he'll have about 3 catches, 3 to 4 catches.
Like 115.
Yeah, 120, 2 touchdowns.
That worked for me.
Solid game.
That's a good day.
I'm out.
Nice day at the office.
Yes.
Not bad.
And let me tell you something, Campbell. If you make me look stupid and you drop a deep pass,
You big dummy.
oh, wait till Tuesday.
We might have to put in a You Big Dummy segment in this show.
Oh, we gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
you know how I get. Don't make me look stupid, okay?
You got to make those bold predictions, though, man. So I understand.
Got
So
to, man. You can't just go in there and be, well, I think he'll have 5 catches for 60 yards.
that'd be weak.
Anybody can do that.
That's weak. Producer G had a hell of a bold prediction last year. He said that both Weber and Dobbins would go over 100 yards against Michigan State. I think they did it in the first half.
Wow.
He was on top of it.
Wow.
And Scotty's bold prediction worked too, and then mine was the only one that just didn't make the cut. So that'll happen, I suppose, making bold predictions and such. We got more comments over there. They're
Chad
still flying in,
Chad
man.
Smitty, Chad Smitty said Brian Snead is the man.
Hey, my guy.
You sure that you guys? Come on now.
Well, Master Teague is my guy.
Both of you guys are on the Brian Snead train.
I'm also really excited to see Demario McCall. I don't know how we've done.
Man, I want him to get some touches. I like McCall.
An hour and 15 minutes of this show with no mention of Run DMC.
Oh, Chad Smitty coming to my side of things. He said Paris 6 catches, 210 yards.
Okay.
And 2 touchdowns.
And that's bold, all right. I almost spit out my water. I didn't even have any in my mouth. But my goodness, 6 grabs, 210, man. That's like a 35-yard average. I'm no mathematician, but of course he could do it. Campbell could do it. You know, they all come off of little bubble screens too.
Hey, I just said 2 deep. After that, he can do what he wants.
He can do whatever the heck he wants. A little screen pass. How many Dwayne Haskins designed runs do you think we see?
2. We'll see about 2. He's going to do it.
Martell, now he's going to get a lot of run in him.
Martell, this is what I don't want. When he's in the game, just don't do a QB draw every time. It's just too predictable. I don't want to see that mess.
Oh, man.
5 wide, yeah, we know what's coming up. Right up the middle.
Motion the tight end and
let him throw it if he's going to come in.
Yeah, I mean, his arm didn't look very good in the spring game, so, excuse me. Hopefully he's had a lot of work with Ryan Day to this point. And, we'll see. Obviously, Tate's going to get a lot of play. Ryan Day said in the press conference yesterday, Haskins will start, but the plan is for Tate to play. And he didn't say in what form or fashion. Dang, that scared me twice. Right. That's twice now.
That's twice now. It's twice. My bad, y'all.
But, he didn't say what the plan exactly is for Tate, but the plan is for him to play. So I don't know if they come in and if he gives Haskins a breather. He said he's made up a lot of ground on him in fall camp, but I don't know, man. And one thing we didn't touch on is that former Ohio State quarterback Joe Burrow has been named the starter at LSU. I don't think that's any big surprise to any of us.
LSU. When was the last time LSU had a good quarterback?
They haven't, man.
Jamarcus Russell. That's terrible.
Poor Oakland Raiders fans.
That could be a low rated key. They actually have a quarterback.
Well, they've got all the talent. I mean, I saw something like they put 30 guys into the NFL draft in the last 8 years or something. Like, that's a lot of talent, man. They've got a ton of talent there. They just haven't had
if you don't have a
quality
quarterback, you're not winning nothing. And now they finally have a quarterback. Just think about this, everybody, and how good
I got my thinking cap on.
How good Dwayne Haskins is. I know I'm going to drive this train home. I am
Dwayne,
hatched on
the Dwayne
this
train.
So I'm hatched on. Joe Burrow left because he was that good. He didn't want to be a backup, and I understand it.
I can't blame him.
Joe Burrow is no scrub. He's good. Think about that for a second. That's how good Haskins is. That he said, "Nah." He said, "I ain't gonna win."
And Joe Burrow's
and
hell of a quarterback,
and he is good.
They call him Joe QB.
And he said, "I ain't gonna sit behind. Nah, I'm out.
I'm gonna go play.
I'm not gonna win."
And then he goes to LSU, and their quarterbacks all transfer. He was the 4th member of a 3. He's in the quarterback room, and 2 guys transfer.
Yeah. And the thing was, I love Joe too. Like, I was like, I like Joe too, man. I was like, he's accurate. Like, when he threw it just fell right into the bucket. Bloop. I'm like,
kid can throw, man. I'm excited to see. They got a tough one. They open up Sunday night. I love the 3-day weekend, man. Labor Day, they got college football games on all week, all day Saturday. They got good ones on Thursday. One on Sunday. That will be number 25. LSU squeaks into the top 25, and they've got Miami, who I think is number 8. The Hurricanes with Mark Richt. And then Monday you got some weird, funky. They got West Virginia and Tennessee playing in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, why even do that, man?
Kyle Barr says he hopes Joe lights up Alabama's defense. Chad says, good for Joe. I'll be cheering him on. He says, you are going to get a 3rd and 4 Haskins design run at least twice a game. Chad, you're killing me. And he's probably
Why not give it to Dobbins?
And you know what?
Or Weber.
And you know what? He's probably right.
Probably is.
And that's what hurts my feelings. He's probably
You
right.
got barbecue back there? And you didn't invite me?
We got to get that. We're going to get that sound clip.
Oh, yeah. I actually made my fantasy team name today. Hurt my
feelings.
feelings.
We're going to get that. We're going to get that sound clip. I didn't see this one. Lee Travis says, he makes a good point. He said, we better get our punting fixed this year.
Well, I know Drew Chrisman is back, and he's, from what I've read, they don't write too much on the punters at Ohio State. But, Drew Chrisman was the number 1 punter in his recruiting class, which is, fun. I think he's from the Cincinnati area. And he's been doing well from all accounts, so we'll see how that ends up. I mean, hopefully we won't have to punt too much. But we need to get our coverage down more than anything on special teams. We don't need any Saquon Barkley's taking the opening kickoff 100 yards and putting us in a hole quick.
You know what would be the greatest psychology trick on the team? We don't even have a punter.
Don't even have a punter.
We don't even have one, so y'all better not even get the 4th down. Get it together.
Hey, there was one high school coach, and I think it might have been Hilliard Davidson here in Columbus that just every time would go for it. He said statistically speaking,
I seen that. Yeah,
every time you go, because they ran the ball every time. They ran the old triple option, and most 4th downs were 4th and 3 or less. And you go for it, and statistically speaking, it'll work out well for you. That's how you win titles, making those risks. I got a good comment here from our guy Mike Tackett. Says, let's eliminate non-conference play and have a 24-team playoff, Corey. Would love to see an SEC or Big 12 team play up north in the snow in December. Now, I would love that. I would love the in the snow part.
I don't know about 24 teams, because then the regular season would really mean nothing.
Take out non-conference play, you get what? I mean, this would have to be 4 teams from the. If you got 24, I mean, how are we gonna write this out? I can't even figure it out. But 2014 playoff, it'd be fun. I don't want college football to turn into the March Madness tournament. You know what I mean? So 24 teams is too much. I mean, eight teams is my guy. I would love to have 8 teams, the Power 5 champion, 2 at-large bids, and the Group of 5 champion. I mean, that's what I got to say. So, I think 8 is where we should be at.
Yeah.
I think we'll move to 8. You think we move to 8 soon?
No. You know how stubborn the NCAA is. Our way is king. We got it. See how long it took them to move away from the BCS?
Yeah.
Forever.
Sure did.
Our computer is right. Really.
So now they put, 12 members on a committee with politics experience. Like Condoleezza Rice is on the committee or something. Like, why? You know what I mean? And they got like former ADs and that kind of thing. That makes sense. But
yeah, Alan says 8 teams. Michael says 24 is crazy talk. Austin says too much. 8 teams at most makes sense.
It would be fun to watch a 24-team playoff, just for the hell of it. It'd be fun to see. And but I like the 8-team playoff, and I like the first round of games. I like that idea of being at the higher seeds' home stadium. I mean, how cool would that be? Say Ohio State's ranked 3rd, and we get to host a 6th ranked like Clemson or Georgia or something in the shoe, after the week after the Big Ten title game, and then we get a week off or whatever before the semis. That's the way to go, man. Host it. The top 4 seeds get to host the bottom 4 seeds. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That would really sell, man. Can you imagine ticket prices for those games? Ohio State hosting a game in December in the shoe. Maybe it's snowing.
Oh, man.
And we got some, warm, loving LSU, Georgia, Florida coming up north for a good old-fashioned winter beatdown in the Midwest. I'd be a fan of that.
I love it. Brian Cooper says, do you think – thanks for commenting. Everybody's making a comment. We really appreciate it. Brian Cooper says, and let us know where you're commenting from, Brian, if you haven't already. We want to know where you are at.
Please.
He says, do you think the Buckeyes will be 3-0 when Urban comes back? You know my answer to that. Yes, they will.
Yes. Paris Campbell said tonight at some interviews that they're an angry football team right now. Oregon State should be very afraid. And you know what I heard on the radio that I didn't even think about. Normally I come up with this stuff, but Oregon State is coming in. They suck. They're playing a pissed off Ohio State football team at 12 noon on a Saturday, which is really 9 a.m. local time for Oregon State. They probably got here. They're probably getting here like Thursday to try and acclimate themselves. But realistically, they're waking up at, say 8 a.m. here, which is really 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. for there. I should say a.m. But if they're waking up like 5 local time to play a game at 9 o'clock and you're playing the Ohio State Buckeyes without Urban Meyer, I would not want to be an Oregon State Beaver this week.
Yeah, it's going to be bad for Oregon State, and I don't feel sorry for them at all. I have no compassion for anybody not named Ohio State.
Boom.
And that's just the way it is. Carrie asked the way it is. Carrie Lynn asked a question. I'm just going to read it. She said, do you think a 2 QB system will be more successful this season if they use – I don't think my thing's going to let me read the rest of it. No. If they use it – it doesn't say see more online. I don't know why it's not going that far.
I don't have that
My stupid iPad is acting stupid. Come on, Apple.
Now, there you go.
Yeah, it's not going.
It's not going?
Well, I didn't read the rest of it, but Carrie, we talked about this earlier.
Corey doesn't like the 2 QB system.
I don't like it, Carrie. The reason why I don't think it will work is, first of all, Dwayne Haskins is just a beast. First of all,
he's good enough.
Second of all, it just throws off rhythm. Going in and out. Okay, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. And then with Tate Martell, they got to change the offense. Okay, now you're just going to run the ball. It didn't work with Cardell and JT, and they were more even than Haskins and Martell.
Yeah.
If you want to go that far, I just don't like the 2 QB. They never work. Like I don't like it at all, especially when you have a good number one. It's not like he's mediocre.
Oh, yeah.
He's good. So I just don't like 2 quarterback systems. They hardly never work. The last one to work probably was Tim Tebow and Chris Leak that I can remember.
Who was the head coach?
Urban Meyer. That's a good point. But we all know Tim Tebow had no throwing ability then. And his was
just
more
a fullback back there.
His was more
in the red zone.
His was more of a red zone goal line package, either a run or a jump pass. So.
The old jump pass, always a fan favorite.
But I just don't like it.
And the thing
I know coach.
The thing I don't like about 2 QB systems is, like you said, it switches everybody's rhythm up, but especially the quarterbacks themselves. So if you play 2 series and then you get taken out for 2 series and then you go back in, you have this innate need to perform well, and you start pushing. And instead of playing within yourself, feeding the ball to the guys around you, you start pushing. You try and make that extra play to get out of the two quarterback system.
Exactly.
And that just never works, man. It just doesn't work out well.
Laura says no 2 QB system, please. Sarah says, who's getting the Heisman this year? JK ? Like we kind of said earlier, he's rocking the Dobbins
I got
jersey.
A Dobbins jersey on, baby.
I think Weber's going to eat into his carries, which kind of will cancel him out of the Heisman unless the carries he gets, he just goes crazy, and it doesn't matter. But I just don't see it. And quarterbacks usually win the Heisman. So if I had to pick somebody from Ohio State, it's going to be Haskins.
It is a quarterback award.
And Mike Jameson says Austin Mack and Martell is better. Martell is better than who? Is he saying Tebow? Haskins? I wasn't quite sure who he's saying better than.
Well, I would hope not Haskins.
I hope not Haskins. Chad says no thanks to the 2 QB system. And Seth says thing is Haskins can run, but that's not his game. And Chad says maybe a trick play with Martell.
Hey, man, Tate Martell was the Gatorade National Player of the Year last year in high school for a reason, 2 years ago, I should say. And he was able to sling the ball at Bishop Gorman against, some punk DBs in high school. He didn't look so sharp in the spring game, throwing the ball down the field. And, if he comes in, like you said, I want to see him throw. I don't want to just have him come in and run the ball and run a triple option offense because Tate Martell can't throw the ball. I'm sure he can throw the ball, but he can't throw the ball like Dwayne Haskins can. And, you know, if you're going to get him on the field, that's great, but maybe put him at H-back. Give him a jet sweep or, yeah, like a jet sweep because he can use his shiftiness and then run it again. But instead, this time he passes. I mean, you can hand the ball off on a jet sweep and throw the ball.
It's not illegal, I know.
It's not illegal. They thought, you know, Ed Warner and Tim Beck thought so when they had Braxton Miller back there because they didn't do anything with him. But, I mean, I would love to see a trick play with Martell throwing the ball, maybe a throwback to Haskins who throws it to Campbell for 99 yards.
Beautiful. That would be beautiful.
There's a bold prediction for you.
That would be beautiful.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
We just crossed the 9 o'clock threshold, folks. Normally, I'd be signing off at this time. But we still do not have a producer in here to push the old stop button. So I guess we're just rolling right through. It's been 10, 15 minutes without any supervision in here. I don't even know what we're talking about. Our prep sheets are all over with. And, well, I tell you what. I guess we can good. Thanks for reminding me.
Gotcha.
Would be a good time to remind all of you watching at home and listening that you can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, but also on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud as well. So you can take us on the go in case you don't want to look at our two ugly mugs and just listen to us talk. I've never been like the podcast guy. I like watching something, a little talk show, maybe some clips here or there. But there we go, and we got some.
There we go. There goes the supervision.
There it goes.
We're about done,
we
guys.
got the bosses are back.
We're about done, guys.
We are about wrapped up here. So I want to appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It was a wonderful show. 4 days till kickoff.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be recapping a Buckeye football game.
A Buckeye victory.
And then looking forward to Rutgers next Saturday, the alma mater of my father-in-law.
Oh, shoot.
Indeed. So,
but they got to go down. Sorry.
They do. They got to go down hard. And he always gives me something like, I really got a good feeling about Rutgers this weekend. So we'll see. All I know, we'll be back next week, 7:30 to 9 for Corey Boyd, producer G, producer Jake Safranco, everybody else we've had in here, Taylor Ashbrook. I'm Jake Smith signing off, saying go Bucks and OH.
I-O.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Boom.